Good morning, guys. Sorry for the little delay at the beginning. I just got ready with everything here. Let me also grab my correct microphone. There we go. All right. So, before the stream, I just signed up for a new Apex 50K account for $18 US. If you want to, join Apex for the funding as well with a massive discount, 90%, simply click on this link that I put here in the description box and the chat. Then you end up over at Apex Trader Funding, and then you scroll down to the Trader Weight accounts down here. You select the 50K, click on Start Now, then it asks you to log in, and you simply use the discount code. Where do we have it? Save 90. And then you end up paying $18 US for a 50K account, which is pretty damn good. Alright, but now let's jump into TradingView, because we just swept sell side liquidity. I'm going to be using that new Apex account today during the live stream. And if I see a nice opportunity, I would also consider it taking it on my funded account. Alright, where we at the DXY this morning during the London session pumped massively. Now we are at the high. If we go to the higher time frame, this is what the daily chart right now looks like. We are back above our daily bearish fair value gap after manipulating below the previous week's low, even below the sell side liquidity. If we look at Euro US dollar, we can see that strong downtrend that we saw today on the DXY, but in form of the uptrend. All right, and here over on ES, the asset that we're going to be focusing on, we do not have any SMT divergence. Everything looks fine. At 8 AM just opened up. 8 AM. We swept the short-term low, picked up some stops, and let's see if we cannot continue into our continue our move to the upside, basically. We just hit that midnight level prior to the kill zone right here at 7:30, and then we rejected, took out the short-term low. We have another. Let me actually just make it a little simple black line. There we go. More sell side would be below this short-term low. We already swept buy side. Up here is our next buy side liquidity target inside of a 1 hour bearish fair value gap. We have the midnight level here. This is our current daily candle using the VIP higher time frame candles indicator. So we opened up, formed a high right here on that 6 PM candle. Asia consolidated. We can use the Session Pro indicator to see that. Asia consolidation, London manipulation, New York expansion. We will see about that. Because we didn't really sweep major external sell side, I would have liked to see the previous day's low to be swept, but we don't have to do that in order to continue to the upside. Not sure if the low has been put in place. Keep in mind we have Powell speaking at 16:35. We're locked in on our newly bought Apex 50K account. Let's see how we do on that account. All right, we have this volume imbalance right here. All right, on the 1 minute, that's not really interesting. And so far, the VWAP today has been very well respected. Touched it once, touched it twice, rejected, broke above it, and now we're holding support. We're just bumping into that midnight level now. Let me get rid of the higher time frame candle. We only needed that at the beginning. And if you have any questions, really feel free to ask me. Simply write a message in the YouTube chat and I will get to it. And if you want to watch a uninterrupted Discord live stream, use the Patreon link in the description box below. All right. The XY seems to be continuing lower now. Here on a 15-minute time frame, we had the expansion to the upside until 3 AM, and then we started to retrace into the daily bullish fair value gap, and then we continued up higher. Therefore, we saw Euro pretty much do that exact same thing. Took out the 4-hour range low. But nothing here, nothing yet. We bumped into the midnight. Now we are looking at equal highs. I'm gonna place a buy limit right here on this order block to see if it can support price for a potential long entry. We already bumped into it. I would look for 3 points into that 1 hour buy side liquidity. Stop loss would really be below the order block, 1 tick below. We still have that midnight level to get above though. We already touched the level. I was a little bit late on my entry here. Open up with a bullish volume imbalance, but we still... No, risk reward is not good enough. Not worth it yet. Gonna leave my limit order right where it is. Let's keep on watching it on the 5-minute time frame. Good morning, Worth. Matt, can you link these accounts on TradingView, TradeAway, so that trades get copied to different accounts? I'm pretty sure you can. You can... If you use an external trade copier, yes, you can. I think Apex has all of that on their website, and then you can use multiple different TradeAway or Ninja Trader accounts, and basically copy all the trades from your master account over to all your slave accounts. But yes, it is possible, Mr. D. You can trade up to 20 accounts with Apex, and I think they have the link for that copier. They have their own software to do that. You can also use an external one. Simply type in TradeAway trade copier. Then you can trade up to 50k accounts, for example, at once, which is pretty powerful. Let's see if we can break above that midnight and for the first time close above it. No, we gapped above it.
Order filled.
Let's see how that plays out. If this volume imbalance, I think also on the 5-minute time frame, can support price here. First target would be this buy side liquidity, and then really this buy side liquidity inside the 1 hour bearish fair value gap, and that's the only fair value gap that we have available on the 1 hour time frame right here. 1 hour bearish fair value gap. We already used it at 1 a.m. We failed to deliver into the previous day's low right here, leaving behind the low of the day. So yeah, we will see how that is going to play out. Once we get above that, we can look for further long continuations. It's not even 8:30 yet. It's really early on in the session. Just a feeler trade. DXY not really being nice here, but that shouldn't affect us. Let's check out NQ. NQ also didn't take the high yet, but cleared this low and reacted bullish from it. So I would look at this candle as an order block. Let's see. We already did immediate rebalance right here. So we don't leave behind a new 5-minute fair value gap. I would like this candle to close above the midnight. There we go. So we took these equal highs. Where would 5 points take us from the midnight level? Two points. 1.7.
Order filled.
Alright, and we already filled. We already hit our first take profit target. Just a little small scalp. 1.75 points. 85 bucks. That's that first trade on the new Apex 50k account that I paid this morning. I think, yeah, $18. Alright, I'm not really too keen on holding on to trades right now. I tried doing that during London, but yeah, we can all see what happened during London and especially post-London kill zone. I managed to catch a nice turtle soup long below the slope, but other than that, every time we bump into something, we immediately reject. So we will just watch and see from now on, I would say, because we are now inside the 1 hour bearish fair value gap. We are about to break the hourly buy side. This is the hourly high. Yep, we broke that. So if we go to the hourly time frame now, we can see that we took buy side liquidity on the hourly inside a 1 hour bearish fair value gap inside a premium. So if we look at the current daily candle, it looks something like this, and we're above the 50% roughly if I use the ICT fib retracement. The optimum trade entry is right at the high of this fair value gap, so we could see a further expansion, but based on the behavior of price during London, I'm not really willing to hold on to something inside a bearish fair value gap. But 8 a.m. opened up, manipulation. No, can't claim that for sure. Let's just see how we go on a 15-minute. We also swept that high. We have a 15-minute, 5-minute, and 1 hour bearish fair value gap inside this area. So if we reject to clear some internal or some sell side below any of these lows, right here, right here, right here, I would suspect we're going to do it from here. We have the opening of the daily candle right here with a little new day opening gap. Let me also put that up. Take a look at EU. Our target was hit nicely. We got our first win for the day. And then what I always do after that first win, I head over to my TradeAway account. And 48, this was a London failed trade, 84.50. I head over to my journaling software. And we are going to add a new account. Apex, we call it Apex Livestream. We started with 50, 1, 2, 3. Initial deposit date was today, 25th. And we add that account. Let's make this a different color so it stands out. And we are going to add our first trade. That we take a screenshot. I'm not sure. Let me make sure I did. Turn on the executions. And you will only be able to really copy my 1-minute scalps if you are on the Discord, because the YouTube stream is a little bit delayed due to YouTube, and there's also some advertising on there. But if you watch me on Discord, you could have caught that very same trade. Alright, so now let's get back to journaling. Details. We went long with one contract on the Apex livestream. 84.5 on ES1. Midnight. New York Midnight Open into buy side liquidity. We traded during the New York session. Quick scalp into 1 hour buy side liquidity. Alright, our first trade is added, 0.2%. And then we can watch how we do on this Apex 50k account right here on the dashboard. Alright, let's see what's happening here. We close above the midnight. Looks like we're gonna bounce off it, but it's not sure. I'm not really trusting anything. I would like to wait until 8:30. We have a 5-minute bullish fair value gap down here that we could retrace into. So far we didn't close above the 1 hour high. Here on the 5 and 1 minute time frame, we only wicked it and immediately rejected, because yeah, keep in mind we're also inside that 1 hour bearish fair value gap. The only hourly fair value gap that we have created so far today. Let's see if we have any questions on YouTube. Make sure also to give the stream a like so more people are able to see it on YouTube if you find value in it. Check out Discord. Nice reaction of the New York Midnight level. If we continue bullish, I would really expect the hourly candle to close above 4265.25. If not, and we decide to hunt some sell side liquidity, we will reject from this area and likely retrace at least into one of these lows. Let's go to the 1 minute time frame. We have all these equal highs. Alright, I was just about to market enter, but now we hit the 50% of the 1 hour fair value gap. We also took out all these equal highs. Now it's time to check out NQ. NQ is doing that same thing, so we do not have SMT. Maybe minor SMT, but I don't count that. Let's start slowly into this AM session. Keep in mind we have power speaking after the power hour, so at 16:35 New York local time. Alright, that's already starting to look nice. Let's see what we do here. For the first time now, we are above the New York midnight level. We also closed above it with this volume imbalance. So if we want to retrace now, after hitting the 50% of the 1 hour bearish fair value gap, we would like to see this fair value gap to not be respected. And maybe even a market structure shift to the downside. Here on a 1 minute time frame for a little scalp into the lows. This is the 1 minute bullish fair value gap that I'm talking about. We initially kept holding here. To deliver once more into a short-term high. Good question, Wef. If you check out my YouTube channel over here, hang on. Let it load a little bit. That question is not really easily answered, in my opinion. That's why I created a video. Many tabs open, Discord Live and YouTube Live. Right here, if you go over to the video section, I have a video called Best Futures Funding Firms. I compare Topstep, Apex, TradeDay, Take Profit Trader, Elite Funded Trader, all in one video. And then, yeah, you can really pick the one you like the most. So the quick answer would be, yeah, Mr. D, power will be after market close. So I'm not sure how we're going to behave today. We will see. But to make it simple, the easiest rules to pass, they're all very similar. If you do not want to have intraday trailing drawdown, I'd say you're better off with Take Profit Trader or Topstep. Topstep, you have to reach the account balance, yeah. Honestly, the easiest challenge to pass, I think, would be TradeDay. There's a link in the description box below for TradeDay as well. But they're all fairly similar, in my opinion. It's more about what the rules are like if you trade on their funded account afterwards. But Apex is by far the cheapest one. Cheapest doesn't always mean best, but if you just start out with futures trading and you've never done that before because you used to trade CFDs prior to that, then I'd say Apex Trader Funding might be your best choice, because a 50k account, the one that I just purchased before the live stream, only costed me $18 US. And if I pass it, yes, I have to pay the activation fee. But if you just want to play a little bit with futures, getting to know them, then Apex might be let's say the first prop firm you should start with. You can never go wrong. You only spend $18. It's better than paper trading. You get to experience what trading on a funded account challenge is really like before you spend, I don't know, $100 or $200 on a funded account. You first want to make sure that you're actually able to pass the verification. Once you're able to do that, then yes, you can always look for a second prop firm, hook them up with a copier, and trade them all at the same time. No worries, you're welcome, Mav. Once again, we tap that midnight level and we start to reject from it. It's 8:25. So usually, even if we do not have news at 8:30, we see a injection of liquidity right at 8:30. And it's 8:26 now. Alright, there's no SMT here. Closing Q again. So really, I took a long off the midnight right into this 1 hour buy side liquidity at the beginning of the stream. Once we volume imbalanced above the midnight level on the 5-minute time frame. Let's see, from here on we hit buy side, we retraced, kept on holding inside these bullish fair value gaps. But really the range right now, and since we've already hit the 50% of the 1 hour bearish fair value gap, not really interested trying to force something on price here to fill in this entire bearish fair value gap. We're pretty extended here on a 1-minute time frame. Stop hunt might be incoming. It's 8:27. Let's see what the 8:30 1-minute candle looks like. DXY is bouncing off this highest 15-minute fair value gap. There's no reason to call a top yet. I would like to see a clean bearish market structure shift on the DXY in order to confirm that, and maybe to consider longs on EU. Only one like. Come on. 28 views. DXY. Not a confirmed one. Alright, let's see what we are going to do now here on ES. Once again, we're at the midnight level. It's 8:28. I see two possible scenarios. We either sweep here, sweep the slow, to reverse back up and continue into the 1 hour bullish bearish fair value gap, or we close below and react from this area to continue lower. But we will see 8:30 is usually very volatile. Let's see how this 8:29 AM candle is closing. If we manage to close below this, we would see a confirmed bearish market structure shift here, but only on a 1-minute time frame. We sort of hit a higher time frame point of interest. We're making higher highs, higher lows. We break that structure, but we want to make sure that we're not just sweeping liquidity here, picking up some stops before continuing up higher with the 8:30 injection of liquidity. Equal lows. Alright, it's 8:30. If we come into this bearish fair value gap again, I'd take an entry like this. We closed below. We have equal lows below. We're back below the New York midnight, also on the 5-minute time frame. And we can look at this as a balanced price range. We initially had a bullish fair value gap here that kept holding support to deliver into buy side. Now we broke below it, and we have a new bearish fair value gap perfectly overlapping with that. So the only way we will be stopped out is in the scenario where this is a simple stop hunt, and then we're just back at break even. We will see. Typical 830 volatility. We already filled in this balanced price range. Bearish fair value gap or bullish fair value gap, exactly matching up. Four, 3, 2, 1, close. Okay, nice. That's what I was low-key looking for to stay in this trade. If I would have seen a close above this inversion fair value gap, I would have closed the position. But we closed right at the high and had a volume imbalance to the downside. So now we already had the retracement. If we get stopped out, so be it. We're not in a big position right now because it's still pre-New York Open and all that. Good morning, Asinov. Now you're able to see the live stream without any delay, especially when it comes down to the 1 minute time frame scalping. Yeah, you miss the trades if you want to take the same trades that I do, watching it on YouTube. Alright, we're playing with the midnight level now. Open up with a bullish volume imbalance now after hitting that midnight. Yeah, you won the gas ES, the closing price from yesterday. I think I was sitting at 42680 and you were at 42675. You were the closest one, even though I was super close once again. Of course. Now not anymore for this week, so if you want to participate next week, we're gonna... Alright, let's see. We're gonna start a new round for the free week of the VIP membership where you can watch me live on Discord and get signals and trades during the London session and also for the PM session. All you have to do is guess the closing price for ES, for the S&P 500 here on the ES1 chart, and whoever's the closest will win. I will also participate because it's good fun. I was right the last 3 times. Yesterday I lost. That's why we have Asinov now on our VIP Discord. I don't like how we play around here. Not really. 8 seconds before this candle is going to close. Let's see where it's going to close. Okay, we still respect that inversion. So it's either going to be a stop out or a win 2.25. Check out the 5-minute time frame. On the 5-minute, we swept this low. We closed below it, but we did not leave behind a bearish fair value gap. We have a bullish fair value gap right here below us on the 5-minute that I'm interested in. So let's see if we cannot clear these equal lows. Once we clear them, I'm either going to close the position but I certainly will move my stop loss to break even. There we go. So right here, that 5-minute fair value gap, we hit the equal lows and we cleared them. I'm going to move my stop to break even, put it on a midnight level, and watch price action as it's moving lower. So we just hit that 5-minute. Let's wait for this candle to close. Ideally, I would like to see a close below these two equal lows. Quickly check the 5-minute time frame. That's going to close in 3.5 minutes. Let me draw up the 5-minute bullish. Okay, so we close below, but we open with a bullish volume imbalance. If it wants to retrace, I let it. I don't really mind. I just don't want to lose on this position anymore. That's why my stop is right at the midnight level to secure at least one tick. My take profit target for now is this sell side liquidity. Because it's at 8:30, we have momentum. We reacted off a 1-hour bearish fair value gap, 1-minute market structure shift. Also on the 5-minute time frame, we entered off a balanced price range, bearish fair value gap right here.
Order filled.
I'm happy with that. Let's check out our new Apex 50k challenge, up to $100. But let's see if our 5-point target would have been hit. Just careful because we are inside this 5-minute bullish fair value gap. We do not really have to respect it, but yeah, it's not the New York AM session yet, so just a little cautious. Profit is profit. Don't like leaving stuff on the table. And now it's time to journal our second trade. Did someone else take it? I mean, if you're watching the YouTube live stream, it could be pretty hard with the YouTube delay. In order to watch me without delay, it's the Patreon link in the description box below. Alright, we entered right there. Right here on this bearish value gap. Stop loss was initially up here, and we closed the position right at the close of this candle. 2.5 points. Bearish volume imbalance. Now we're also around the VWAP, so this is going to be the crucial decision. Quick scalp. Let's take a screenshot. But I think we should see the slow being attacked. Yeah, there we go. Here we have the opening price of the current week. Our 5-point target would have been hit. We will find out very soon. But first of all, let's take a screenshot and head over to the trading channel. Hi, sorry about this. Your Discord notification cloud undistracted and everything turned down a bit so I can hear you more clearly. Yeah, sure, I can do that. Sorry for that into the rain. 206. How much did we make on that first trade? 84. 206.5 minus 84.5. 122. And let's add our new trade. We went short this time on ES1. Put the screenshot in here. 122. We went short with one contract on the Apex livestream account, the one that I just purchased before the live stream for $18 with Apex. All right, let's see. What tags will I use on that one? Fair value gap, inversion fair value gap. New York midnight open. Yeah, that should be fine. Add trade. Alright, that's looking pretty good for today. We would have hit our 5-point target now. Let's see what we did on a 5-minute time frame. Alright, this is a pretty bearish candle. Could have, would have, should have. About holding this trade. Alright, that's done. We outlined it directly before it happened. Now we have equal lows. We have a inversion fair value gap here. Let's take a look at NQ here over at the right. NQ already took the sell side liquidity. Next target would be 4255.75 here on ES. So we took this low. Reacting off our 1 hour bearish fair value gap. It's 8:40 a.m. And I'm talking about this bearish fair value gap up here. Initially, we took a 1-minute scalp from the midnight level into the buy side liquidity on the 1 hour time frame right here. Inside the 1 hour bearish fair value gap. Quick 1.75 points. And then we bounced off a bullish fair value gap one more time into more buy side before we displaced with a bearish fair value gap / balanced price range and continued lower into sell side liquidity. Let me check out what DXY is up to. Just going sideways here, really. We have this 15-minute bearish fair value gap, and we have been so far pretty bullish today. That's the current daily candle here on the DXY. We closed yesterday above the 50% of our old bullish fair value gap after sweeping weekly sell side liquidity and even monthly sell side liquidity. Retested the 50% and immediately continued to bounce. If we look at that on the 15-minute time frame, that's what it's looking like. We opened up right here. Asia moved to the downside. We had our displacement right here with this market structure shift. We had a bullish fair value gap, and that's where we started to move to the upside right at 2:30 a.m. And we had that initial pump up until, through the London Open into buy side liquidity above this high. Retraced, kept holding this first bullish fair value gap and had another leg to the upside. So right now, personally, I would expect one more push to the upside. I wouldn't trust any shorts or longs right now on EU or DXY or any other foreign currency pairs. That's why I have the ICT FIB retracement with the 61.8 optimum trade entry and the 80% retracement level on my chart right now. Can also use the 50%, 0.5, and project standard deviations. Interesting. So we almost hit the 50% here on the DXY, and we immediately bounce back up. This is a bullish sign. For a market structure shift, what I would really like to see, based on the higher time frame, I don't care about 1-minute market structure shifts bearish here without seeing anything on the higher time frame. All right, we kept on selling off 8 points, not bad. Anyone take this short with me? Thank you, Vigi said A. I really do my best. It also took me a long time to learn them, but I think I've come to the point where I'm able to teach others how to use them. It's really all about you. You, in the end of the day, make them work. It's not someone else. It's not even ICT. I don't follow ICT anymore. Also because I don't agree with lots of the stuff he's saying. I don't think he created all this. Just rebranded it, and I use mostly the language that ICT presented in order to scalp the S&P 500. Very simply. Alright, we even took this sell side or this low. We hit this 5-minute bullish. What's the time? It is 8:45. A new balanced price range. What do I mean by that? This is a old bullish fair value gap, but we cut right through it. And we have a new bearish fair value gap now on the 5-minute time frame, overlapping this bearish fair value gap. And we can even see that the consequent encouragement, or the 50% of those two fair value gaps, perfectly match up. And really, this is looking pretty nice for a bearish market structure shift, confirmed with this candle close, if we're being honest. What's the time? It's 8:45. We reacted. We retraced into sell side liquidity. Let me take a look at NQ here. Similar. So this is a 5-minute 2022 model. Not at the extremes. We're not at the high of the current day. The high of the current day is right here at 4273.5. Unless we bounce off this fair value gap to continue back to the upside, I would trust this 5-minute model right here, our bearish market structure shift. We formed a high, a higher low, a higher high, and we shifted structure with a displacement, leaving behind a bearish fair value gap. And I would, prefer an entry around at the 50% basically. Stop loss, take profit target is going to be the London sell side liquidity. Unless we do what we did the entire London session, where we sweep a low and immediately reverse, we should be on the safe side. Alright, let's place my limit order on both the micro and the mini. We hit the bearish fair value gap already. Stop loss 3.5 points. Create limit order. 2 contracts. 3. Yeah. Pre-New York Open, I think that's appropriate. Go short with 3 here on the micro. And let's log back to our challenge account, the new one. We just tapped the VWAP, that's also overlapping here. I want to get in at the 50% though, since we have these two areas perfectly line up with each other. So, but keep in mind, if you take this trade, there's always two scenarios. First scenario is we react off this breaker block, bearish fair value gap, blah, 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 continue lower. Or this simply was a sweep after being pretty overextended. We retrace and continue up higher after taking out the majority of the long positions that have been put in on this move to the upside right here. You could also enter right at the low of the fair value gap like I usually do. But since we have the confluence, I think I will leave it at the 50%. And if I miss it, so be it. You can see that the XY is going lower again, like we already said. Right here, we're just consolidating, likely going to retrace a little bit lower, which could lead to higher prices on foreign currency pairs. Good morning, Ragnar. 15-minute time frame, what are you looking like? On the 15-minute, we also have a bearish market structure shift. That's nice. We didn't hit a fair value gap here. The 15-minute is going to close on 7.5. Yeah, let's just be patient with this one. And like always, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. Nah, come on, I logged in back into the wrong account. We want to go back to our Apex livestream account. M4262.75 before you got in. Let me check that out. 42. Let's go to the 1 minute time frame here. 4262. Okay, a little bit earlier. Room to retrace on the 1 minute time frame here as well. But of course you don't have to. We just hit the VWAP paired with this bearish fair value gap. We'll see what the next 5-minute candle will do. And then we get a 15-minute candle close. Always keep an eye on that. Now that's already a new 15-minute candle, isn't it? No. Alright, so that next candle is going to be an hourly candle actually. Not this one, but the one afterwards. This dashed line, the black one right here, is the opening price for the current week. And this is the entire new week opening gap. .1 minute time frame. Get rid of orders. So what we would like to see in order for us to get our entry filled eventually up here at 4259.5, would like to see a bounce of this last bullish fair value gap. This is the last level of defense for bulls before we take out the sell side. and potentially more sell side below. And we close below. Alright, so that's the last 5-minute candle before we get our new hourly candle. And therefore, let's quickly check out the hourly time frame, what it's looking like. We can already see that the previous hour took hourly buy side, reacted off this 1 hour bearish fair value gap, where we took our initial 1 minute short. And now we rejected strongly, maybe with the intention to go lower. Let me check out what the daily candle looks like. Session Pro. Swept a London session high, swept Asia. So if I wouldn't have been in profit already on the account with those 2 scalps, I would have entered on the low of this bearish fair value gap right here, targeting some sell side below, either the London session low or maybe even the previous day's low. But because I'm already in profit with a decent amount that I feel comfortable with going into tomorrow, I'm not really too keen on trying to get in at the low of a fair value gap. And since both these 2 PD arrays overlap perfectly with each other, I kind of wanted to see it to come back to the 50%. But now that we have made a new lower low and we get a new hourly candle soon, don't really like that, gotta admit. One minute time frame. Because now, since we closed on, we didn't close, but we swept this low. If we now push back up above this high, we would have a opposing here on the market. We would have a bullish market structure shift here. So I would really just prefer to continue its way to the downside from here. But we will see in 1.5 minutes we get a new hourly candle. And if we look at this little price leg right here, hit the 61.8, not the optimum trade entry. We have one more bullish fair value gap here on the 5. That's the lowest bullish fair value gap that we have before we reach sell side liquidity. So let's see 30 seconds until we get our new hourly candle. I would prefer a close below here, and I'm likely gonna get rid of my sell limit. That didn't play out. Three, two, one, new hourly candle coming in, new hourly momentum entering the market. DXY going higher? No, not really, but cleared the low. Let's check out EU here. For our time frame, candle didn't close here. No follow through. 15-minute time frame. No, nothing here. hope someone got in on this 2022 model here on the 5-minute time frame and didn't place the same entry where I did. If you place it right here at the low, that's already a 5-point move, depending on how much you're looking to get out of a trade. This is pretty nice. 15-minute time frame. Let's take a quick look at that one again. Now we have a 15-minute bearish fair value gap, and it's overlapping perfectly with our 5-minute inversion. 1 hour closed as a bearish pin bar candle after sweeping. Buy side liquidity here, rejecting from a 1 hour bearish fair value gap. What's the time? It's 9 a.m. So now what we would expect here on the 5-minute time frame, since we closed below this bullish fair value gap, we would like to see it being used as resistance, because initially we kept holding support to tap into our bearish fair value gap up in here, and then we rejected, managed to close below, and now really that's what we would expect. Doesn't have to work out 100% of the time. And in this kind of choppy market condition here, we didn't have a big range so far today in terms of points. Probabilities are lower than usual for it to play out. Let's wait for this 9 a.m. 5-minute candle to close. Check out the DXY. Continuing lower. Fair enough. Well, I'm glad you got in on the short as well. Where did you close your position? Are you still holding on to it, or so let's see, 1.5 minutes left. Euro should be moving to the upside. Yeah, but not really clean. Maybe I'm also going to leave it at 2 out of 2 trades here for today, those 2 scalps, because we have power speaking. I don't know, I don't want to be a little chicken because it's after market close or after power hour at 4 p.m. New York local time. Let's check it out actually. Forex Factory. What is he talking about today? Fed Chair Powell speaking. Due to deliver opening remarks at the Moneyheim lecture in social science and public policy. Opening remarks at the lecture in social science and public policy. Yeah, I said it last time too, but I don't think that Powell will. Maybe market makers will still use it, but he's just delivering the opening remarks at a lecture in social science and public policy. Next week, that's going to be something else because, we have the FOMC statement. And because it's next week, I don't really think he's going to talk about anything related with the potential outcome of next week's FOMC statement and the federal funds rate and the following press conference. So I'm not going to be too worried about Powell speaking later today. Alright, perfect. So we repriced this entire inversion fair value gap after closing below it, and we rejected from it. If we look at that on a 1 minute time frame, yeah, just ugly job. I think before, or if I even take another entry on the live stream funded account, this one right here, we started it today, it's up $200. I think, yeah, 2 out of 3. We don't want to overstretch our luck unless we see something very clean. Nothing on DXY. Fair enough. I was looking to get in on my funded account as well on this short, and I was considering placing a micro entry already on this bearish fair value gap of right here, paired with the VWAP. Would have already hit the partial because we never retraced to my original entry right here, where the two 50% lines of each fair value gap overlap. Check out NQ. Today being very similar to what we see on ES. If we zoom out a little here, we made this low, went higher, pulled back. The only, no SMT here, moved up higher, formed a lower high. We did the same thing on ES right here, formed a low, and then we had this extreme point at 610. Same here for ES, where we swept all the sell side liquidity here, internal, moved to the upside, taking out this and this and this high, consolidated for a little, had this last push up into the 1 hour bearish fair value gap. Lol, I thought I still have NQ open here on the right. That's why they look the same. Alright, so now this time with NQ. Low, that's still smashing. High, pullback. Yep, low, high, higher high. Sweep, run into the higher high. Displacement, we have this low right here on NQ. And this one right here, London session low in 6:10 a.m. Low, let's check out the hourly time frame on NQ here. NQ didn't sweep this buy side here on the hourly. If I go to the ES hourly chart, we can see that we have moved inside of this 1 hour bearish fair value gap, and we took this buy side liquidity of this 1 a.m. hourly candle, while NQ failed to do so. This is the same 1 hour bearish fair value gap that we have spent time inside here on ES, but we didn't really on NQ. We also didn't sweep this high. And on an hourly time frame, it's, I don't know, not the easiest to predict right now of where it's going to go. Could go lower, could go higher, like always, could continue to consolidate if it wants to. And yeah, usually we want to have higher time frame confluence paired with our lower time frame scalps, like the ones we took this morning at the beginning of the stream. The long of the midnight level right here into this 1 hour buy side liquidity. We had reasoning from the higher time frame to believe that, okay, right here we had 1, 2, 3 equal highs. So I entered on that fourth candle right on the midnight, targeting that 1 hour buy side liquidity. My target was not based on points or a specific risk reward, just based on the idea from the higher time frame that we're gonna run this buy side liquidity. And then we consolidated, spent time inside that 1 hour bearish fair value gap, saw the displacement here on the 1 minute paired with a 1 minute bearish fair value gap. We entered right here and secured profits after 2.5 points. Now we have a 5 minute bearish, but this is really not looking nice. Theoretically, no. No, I'm not even getting into that. Sort of two before the New York Open. I think we can leave it at that for now until 9:30. That's when we usually start the stream. What could we see today for the New York Open? Today is a tough one. I would prefer to be at one of the extremes, the low of the day or the high of the day, for a New York reverse. So if we're inside the Asia-London range during the New York Open, I usually wait until 10:30 for a decent entry. Maybe at the extremes. If we look at the historical standard deviations, the thing I do like is that the +1 standard deviation, or +0.5, perfectly lines up with our previous day's high. I haven't seen that for a while, that it's matching up so perfectly. We already hit the -0.5, and usually we stay within that range unless we have a strong expansion. Based on 20 years of average data that I pulled from the internet. So how much did ES, what's the daily range for ES basically, and pulled 20 years of data for each daily candle, and then took an average on the Excel sheet, and that average is being portrayed here. So today, with, hang on, let me turn it back on again and turn off all these drawings. If we go to the standard deviations, with 90% probability we're gonna stay within the +1 and -1, and with I think 60 or 75 we're gonna stay within the 0.5 and -0.5. But that most of the time depends if we have news on the calendar or not. That's not something you base your trades on. It's a little confluence that you can use. So now, knowing our standard deviations, +1, +1.5, and we turn on our analysis again, let's see what's actually lining up. That previous day's high is looking pretty good, but I don't know, it'd be kind of hard to predict something here. Yesterday was also not really, or didn't really give many insights of what could happen today, because Asia London trend into the previous day's high. From the previous day's high, we sold off and ticked the Asian sell side liquidity, and from here we reversed all the way back up above the AM session high, and we even took out the SPY side liquidity inside the daily bearish fair value gap. I'm not going on the daily chart now. We have that daily bearish fair value gap here from, I think, last Friday, overlapping with Monday. High of Monday is the low of the daily bearish fair value gap, and the closing price on Friday or something like that is the high of that daily bearish fair value gap. Oh, don't want to do that. So right now, really, if we look at it, we're ranging high, low, higher high, higher low, higher high, lower low, higher high. Pretty hard to tell what it's gonna do while being inside of that range. But let's zoom back in and see what we're working with. If you have different beliefs or a different idea, feel free to share it with me. I'm really curious. Trading is really individual. A different pair of eyes will see something completely else. That's a nice thing about trading. So if you have an idea, or an idea that you would like to share, you don't have to be embarrassed about it if it's not playing out. It's the nature of trading. Some trades play out, some do not. That's why risk management is the most important point. when it comes to trading. DXY touched the 61.8 retracement level. EU should have seen an up move, therefore nice. Still holding this overall 15-minute bullish. But yeah, I don't know, you kind of want to not take longs in a bearish trend. ES. Fade TV, I go live every day. You can check out all the other live stream recordings here on YouTube. On YouTube, it's a little bit delayed and there are ads turned on for the YouTube live stream because we also have a VIP Discord section where I also stream, where you don't see any advertising or the delay that's put onto the stream by YouTube. It should be something around 30 seconds to 1 minute. And especially when it comes down to the 1 minute scalps that I sometimes take on the stream, like for example the ones that we took on the new Apex 50k account for this live stream, where I entered on the midnight, you don't have a lot of time to, 1 minute, and then by the second minute we already moved to the upside. So if I take these 1 minute scalps, you either hear it already with hindsight that I'm looking for a potential short entry, and then you get in maybe a little bit later, or you watch me on Discord. The link for that is in the description box below. It's the Patreon link. What's the time? It is 9:18 a.m. New York time. I just have to make sure I am logged out of my Take Profit Trader account. Not logged out, but without an active order. And jump back into our Apex livestream account. So right now we're still holding the inversion fair value gap here. 15 minutes to go until the New York Open. 1 minute time frame. We're not looking nice. We already saw the expansion after the market structure shift. Maybe we get a retracement now. Maybe. If there's too many maybes, you better stay out. 30 seconds to go on this 5-minute candle. Let's see if we close back the inversion. And overall for the New York Open, that's coming up very soon. I would say, like always, there's no magic in that. 2 scenarios. You can pick the one you like the most, or that's matching up with your trade idea. We have a 5-minute bearish market structure shift and also a 15-minute bearish market structure shift right here. Up here we have a 15-minute bearish fair value gap that's kind of overlapping nice with our 5-minute bearish fair value gap. So if we want to get in on a short, I'd say above this high, that's where the 15-minute bearish fair value gap begins, would be a decent entry. If you think that with the New York Open, price is going to retrace into this and continue lower to take the London sell side liquidity at 4245.75. But if you're rather bullish, then we would expect a retracement. And we've had this retracement now. We made a lower low and a lower high. So we would like to see in that case a candle close above this lower high for a bullish market structure shift, because it's a New York Open, we could also simply just push through it and ignore all of the structure that we have put in place. So yeah, two scenarios like always. This is a 1 hour bearish fair value gap where we took the short from initially. I personally think I'm going to wait a little before I take another trade, unless I see a A+ trade opportunity, which will likely not happen inside the previous day's high, previous day's low range. And keep in mind, if we turn on the Session Pro indicator, we're still also inside the London Asia session range from the high to the low. New York is currently trading inside. I would prefer one of these extremes to be taken first before I take another trade. Oh yeah, Fade TV, you asked me what indicator that is. That's an indicator I created based on the historical price movement on a daily chart on the S&P 500 futures index. And based on the opening price for each day, you have a 0.5 and a negative 0.5 standard deviation, positive one and negative one right up here. And I will make a video about this, how to properly use it with probabilities, the bell curve basically. But what I'm using it mainly for is if I see a specific standard deviation match up with some liquidity that I already outlined. So I first do my analysis, then I turn on the standard deviations indicator. And if I see, let's say for example, a 2022 model right around the previous day's high, and I know we also have that positive 0.5 standard deviation there, I have more confluence and I have an easier time holding, let's say, towards, for example, the opening price, because usually 70% of the time we stay inside the positive 0.5 and negative 0.5. Only on big movement days. Let's see, let me hide all these drawings. Like, for example, yesterday, let's take a look at that. Yesterday we also spent most of our time. Here's the opening, here's the negative 0.5, positive 0.5. We stayed within the positive one, negative one range, and we do that 85% of the time. Right here we have Monday. Monday opened up. We hit the positive 0.5 after, this was a nice confirmation for the long that we took on Monday's live stream, where we swept London sell side, hitting the negative one. And we know that with 85% probability, we will stay within the negative one and positive one. So now we took that sell side liquidity and we see a massive rejection from that level. Good confirmation that we're going to at least hit the opening price. That's how I like to use it. And if there's an algo, and I don't know, I think they would use the statistical data of all these ranges. Consolidation around the open, broke below, retraced, not a good example for a day. But yeah, I think the point is clear. We usually stay within positive one and negative one standard deviation 85% of the time, unless we have an expansion day into one specific direction. Here we opened up on Tuesday last week. We rejected from the opening price during the London session right here, and then we never came back to it. We hit the 0.5, hit the negative 1, and hit the negative 1.5. And we most of the time only see the negative or positive 1.5 deviation hit on a expansion day to one specific direction. All right, but let's go to current price action. The opening is 5 minutes away. The daily candle. Yeah, I'd prefer it to be at an extreme. The session. 9:25. So within 3.5 minutes, we will get our new 15-minute candle and 30-minute candle and the New York Open paired with that. The DXY touched the 61.8, the golden pocket retracement level of this last leg to the upside. It pushes back. We're still holding inside the inversion fair value gap, this one right here. And if we measure the last expansion really here to the upside, we also hit the 61.8. We hit the optimum trade entry based on this expansion to the upside into this 1 hour bearish fair value gap. We will see what the New York Open is going to do. And maybe look forward to an entry around 10, maybe earlier, we will see. DXY is pushing back up, 2 minutes left before we get a new candle. Good afternoon, Fresky. Nice to see you here. Are you looking at something specific? Yeah, you're right there. The only thing we took right after the beginning of the stream this morning was a quick scalp. I purchased a new Apex 50k account for this live stream. It was a quick scalp into 1 hour buy side liquidity, and we pushed off a bullish fair value gap once more up higher. Right here, let me map that one out. Bullish fair value gap. Higher, we closed below with a 1 minute market structure shift after hitting the 50% of this 1 hour bearish fair value gap. Got the market structure shift, and with this old bullish fair value gap that kept holding previously to deliver into a short-term high, we now had a bearish fair value gap right here, overlapping perfectly. And we took a short based on that, secured right here at the 50% of the 5 minute bullish fair value gap that we had on our chart. Just a quick scalp to have at least some executions. 30 seconds, let's see. We took the low, 15 seconds to go. DXY is pushing after hitting the 61.8. I'm sorry for all the ones who jumped into Euro longs. Okay, New York opened up. Let's see what we get. Continuation lower. Looks like it right now. We also had a 5 minute 2022 mentorship setup right here. We had our limit order placed on the 50% because it was overlapping so nicely of this inversion fair value gap paired with this bearish fair value gap. And because we already had 2 wins on the stream and we didn't really sweep external buy side, we swept an hourly low inside a higher time frame point of interest. 5 minute bearish fair value gap, target maybe the consequent encouragement or the London sell side, but we never hit it. We only retested the VWAP and that's about it. And from there on we started to continue lower into that New York Open. Let's check out the 1 minute time frame here. Go back to the 5. Alright, we took the sell side. I think we're accelerating for the London sell side. Maybe even a previous day's low. So that has been cleared. This is the current low of the daily candle. The London session sell side should be hit within a couple of seconds. Then we have the previous day's low sell side liquidity below us. DXY. Let's take a look at NQ over to the right. Okay, so NQ already did the damage. NQ is already past yesterday's low and below the London session low right here at 3 AM. So relatively speaking, NQ already retraced much further. But here we can really see that price has been in a box starting from Tuesday. We retrace after Monday's reversal. Still, I could see it bouncing from somewhere here, maybe not. But yeah, not ideal conditions to scalp and hold on to your trades. And this is why I don't hold on to my trades from earlier, where we took this 1 minute scalp short. All right, but let's see, drop it down to the 1 minute. $9.30, $9.31. TXY pushing, EU dropping. So if we expect further downside continuation for ES to catch up with what NQ already did into the previous day's low, we would look forward for a reaction of these bearish fair value gaps that we have put in place. 9.30. Equal lows. I was tempted to enter, but I missed the opportunity. All right, here goes the London session low. We're at a new low for the current daily candle, and we accelerate lower. Like we said at the beginning, we would expect a bearish reaction for ES to catch up with what NQ already did. Now we hit the low of the new week opening gap. Let's see if we continue lower. We didn't even close inside this bearish fair value gap. We only wicked inside of it. By the time I made the decision, it was already too late. And take a look at NQ. NQ still selling off. Yep, very much so. DXY pushing. Bearish volume imbalance. We close below the low of the new week opening gap. And we tap our previous day's low. Let me grab that level here quickly. Yeah, we cleared it. Done. We caught the high. Previous day's low has been taken. Let's see how we close here. After sweeping external sell side. Sell side liquidity taken. That's done. London sell side liquidity. Previous day's low. We closed below. We managed to. We open up with a bearish volume imbalance. Power it back up to the 5-minute time frame. Cleared that 1 hour POI and was right about that. Nice. Just too precise with my entry at the 50%. If I would have entered at the low like I normally do here on this 5-minute model to the downside, yep, that would have played out. Well, it is what it is. EU about to break. DXY like we expected and anticipated. We would have liked to see a continuation to the upside. No reason to call a top yet. DXY has been super bullish since yesterday. This morning we retraced, continued higher. We had another expansion, and slowly we started to continue lower until we hit to the tick, the 61.8 retracement entry right here. And from there on we got that push back to the upside. Let's wait for this second 5-minute candle to close. Check out the 15. No worries, Miss City. Nice, 20 points. Big contempt. I'd call it a session if I were you. Come back tomorrow, or maybe during a PM session, trade a different account. Time 10 AM is a new 4-hour candle opening. And that scalp would have netted 5 points. Unfortunate, but missed that one. So not really keen on forcing something right now after just having missed the opportunity. Unless you kept on holding like Mr. D did from our entry up here all the way into the previous day's low. But therefore you would have had to join the live stream at 8:30, so 1 entire hour before the New York market open. Fresky, what trade did you take? Nice, 516.9. That's how we like it. Take a look at NQ here over to the right. Much deeper retracement. Take an eye on the DXY. Alright, we continue lower without tapping the bearish fair value gap right here, but we will keep track of them. And now our standard deviations will come in handy. A -1 standard deviation is all the way down here. Let's mark this up and see what it lines up with. Okay, maybe go to a higher time frame in order to do so. We already cleared this low right here as well. The next sell side would be down here based on the 15. Paired with a old 15-minute bullish fair value gap. We already took out this one. So now we go back to the one. That's our next sell side liquidity from the 15. Our -1 standard deviation. So let's see, we accelerate lower. Don't try to catch a falling knife here. So if you want to look for a reversal, I'd wait for a proper confirmation of bullish order flow. Right, so we closed right on this low. Let's look at the hourly here. We also cleared an hourly low, so a 5, 15 and hourly time frame low. That next low is pretty far away. Then we have Monday's low right here. Daily bearish fair value gap rejected. Hindsight is a beautiful thing. So from the New York Open right here, we have moved 17 points. No bearish fair value gap entries or continuation entries after this one right here. I was too late for that one, unfortunately. Take a look at NQ. Okay, NQ is much more bearish. Not here trying to call a bottom. Let's see, DXY. Come on. Alright, bearish fair value gaps. Nope, not that many. DXY. Yeah. Let's see if we hit our standard deviation of -1, and let's also see what we do around this level, since I've just talked about what we would like to see on these levels. We do not really have sell side liquidity here, but we could see a potential bounce from around here. Let's see if we can hold this 1 minute bearish fair value gap. High risk entry at the low here. It is 947 inside a current 5-minute candle. Please be aware of the risk of this trade. Targeting that 1 standard deviation or just simply 5 points. Make it easy on us. Stop loss goes above this candle's high, and if we see a close above this 1 minute bearish fair value gap, I will exit the position. Missed the entry by 1 tick here. Check out the 5. Yeah, not really a good higher time frame entry at all. Still didn't trigger, but likely will. Nope. 9:49. We're about to enter the 9:50 to 10:10 a.m. macro. Don't really like it, looking at this range from this high to this low, entering below the 50%, and I might even cancel the order if we break the low and fall short of this bearish fair value gap entry by 1 tick. Take a look at the DXY and EU. Okay, so we took the low. Not interested in that anymore right now. DXY is pulling back further, and that could really help us here on ES. Now we would have been filled, but since we took out the low, I'm not really interested in that. This would be an early market structure shift. And you kind of want to avoid these because, yeah, we're in strong bearish order flow. We're in a strong sell-off right now. Going long on or against that, lower probability. Let's see if our fair value gap holds up. But yeah, these market structure shifts after a very strong reversal or continuation to the downside, I would avoid these. You would like to see some bullish structure to be put in place to be on the safer side. I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. I'll be back in no time. Nice to see that the fair value gap still kept on holding up. Yeah, I'd like this momentum to cool off to the downside since we hit major sell side liquidity. We're below the previous day's low at the low of the day. So forming smaller structure here is nice for a potential reversal setup. Let's take a look at YouTube. Hi. Now we have even equal lows here. But we can see we start to go sideways. It's 9:54. We get a new 1 hour and 4 hour candle right here at 10 a.m. So be aware. Entering before that, it's like playing roulette. Black or white? Black or red? Continue higher? Continue lower? That's the question. We took this 5-minute low. We have plenty of 5-minute bearish fair value gaps to retrace into. So if I get a setup here on the 1-minute time frame for a long, I'd likely take that. Entering short right now, right here. Yeah. Freshky, what trade did you take this morning? Daily time frame. Yeah, pretty bearish. That's why I'm not really super keen on a long right now. If I would take a long, it would only be a retracement on a lower time frame. So I wouldn't hold on forever onto that. But if we look at this range, this got lag. Let me check out. 079. Daily chart, wick CE. kind of. Daily time frame. Oh, that's a huge wick. Low to high. Yeah, we hit that consequent encouragement. So if we drop that down to the 1 minute,
Order filled.
could expect a little retrace into higher time frame bearish fair value gaps. We don't have to, we can. Let's see. We have these equal lows. Not the biggest fan of that. But I'm gonna be careful with this one. DXY, continuing lower, continuing further up. Fresky, did you take the short on your account? That $570 profit this morning. This one right here. No, not buy limit. So stop. So let's see if price can close above this 1 minute bearish fair value gap. I'm looking for 5 points, not looking for much here. Still has the potential to fail and continue lower to that -1 standard deviation. But we have potential. It should be medium impact news. I don't have any high impact news on my Forex factory except... Ah, shit, it's 10 AM. Yeah, true. Well, we're already in the trade, so we're gonna let it rock.
Stop filled.
Okay, we're out. Look at that, I forgot about time. 10 AM, new hour and 4-hour candle opening, retrace into this entire 1 minute bearish. Only a small loss. We already made some earlier this morning. Five-minute time frame. New home sales. DXY pushed back up. 5-minute bearish. Even touched this one right here. And we hit the -1 standard deviation after all. DXY pushing back up. EU consolidating still. So now let's see what we're gonna do around this standard deviation. It's 10 AM. 30 minutes of the New York session. We cleared sell side mainly. We are at the low of the current daily candle. We're below the consequent encouragement of Monday's wick. Take a quick look at NQ here. Same could be said about NQ. 1 hour time frame here on ES. Yeah, just bearish right now. New bearish fair value gap right here. But not really worth the risk because it's so big. And this could have also been a news for our 1 hour candle manipulation move to the downside. So let's see what we're going to do inside of this area before we continue. With news for our, yeah, I didn't watch the orange for the news. That's why I got stopped out here for a little loss of 75 bucks. But lucky we already made some profits earlier during the session. Stop loss would be way too big. What I would like to see now is a displacement back above this strong bearish news candle, because we have all these equal highs here. So we either, like always, continue lower, maybe off the 50% here, or we displace back up, putting in place a low for a potential bigger reversal. Sit and wait. 5-minute time frame. Take a quick look at NQ over here to the right on the 1-minute time frame. So these news on NQ didn't actually sweep the low. Right here we have a little divergence between ES and NQ. We can see that NQ is much stronger, already having filled in this entire bearish fair value gap with the SMT divergence.
Order filled.
Just gonna try something here. Keep an eye out on NQ here. Let's see. This is not financial advice. It's just a gut feeling of mine. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It's okay. Wrong plenty of times. Stop loss is right here at the slow. Like I said, it's better not to try to catch a falling knife. NQ. No, that's likely not gonna work.
Order filled. Stop filled.
Okay, now we're in short with 2. That's not really what I wanted, but Kinda sucks, but it's okay. We still have that SMT divergence. I'm waiting for NQ to break the low. Yes, seems to be leading here. But if the drawdown goes above 100 bucks here on that unfortunate second sell stop being added, I will exit the position. There we go.
Order filled.
Yeah, overall, not much risk involved. It's a new Apex 50k. Unfortunately, I moved from 200 profit to 200 drawdown, which is not best case. But let's see. Okay, DXY is moving back up. Just messy here on the DXY. At the -1 standard deviation. Alright, we have even more SMT now. Made that last lower low.
Order filled.
Let's see. So one stop. Kind of trying to force the low being put in place here. Doesn't have to work. And I wouldn't recommend anyone in taking these trades. This is more me practicing, even on a challenge account. That's why, why it's cool that Apex offers these 50k accounts with a 90% discount. You only end up paying $18 for them. Of course, you shouldn't treat them like a scratch ticket, but good for practice. Still have my funded accounts and my challenges where I only take specific setups. But this one I feel like I'm more free to do what I think price will do. This one here was unfortunate because I got filled with that second sell stop. Didn't remove it in time. Let's see, NQ and ES here. Made that lower low, so we have SMT divergence between this and this low. And these two lows as well. Come on. Yeah. Made lower lows on ES while we make higher lows on NQ. It doesn't have to mean the low is in. It's a confluence. DXY pushing back up. EU still in this massive job. Let's check out the YouTube chat. Nothing new. Alright, we seem to be rejecting again. Nice. -10-minute lag on Discord. Yeah, well, I will end the YouTube live stream anyway after this trade, and then the lag should be less on Discord, and I will keep streaming on Discord with all the VIP members.